for being here. Just first of all, just want to say I'm proud of our team and our staff, and obviously really happy that we're 5-0 at this point in the season. But there's a lot of work to do, and our focus is 100% on just trying to win our division. So this is a division game, and that's all our focus is on, just trying to get to 3-0 in the ACC. If we can do that, and that helps us in trying to take another step toward our goal. I really like the business-like approach that our players came back with yesterday. I thought our senior meeting was outstanding. I mean, those guys, they were ready, they were dialed in, and really had some good conversation with those guys. They know, especially after watching the film, they know we've got a ton of improving to do. I mean, we've got a lot of work we've got to get done to improve in a lot of areas. But again, we're finding ways to win. They keep responding, and just really am thankful for the leadership that we have on this team. That's really a big part of this thing. I mean, and I've been saying that since last spring. I really like the leadership of this team and the accountability, and they're just focused, and we put that with some talent and great work ethic. You got a chance. So Boston College is typical BC type of team. They're tough. They're physical. They're been a tough team for us every single year. I think 5 out of the last 6 games have been a touchdown or less, and they're a team that beat us last year. And I know they're not having a great season right now at this point, but they weren't having a great season last year. They were 2-5 last year, and they beat us. And I don't know if they lost a game after that, but maybe one. Went on to have a really good season. So we know that we're in for a tough game this week against these guys. They'll come in here confident in playing us. And then the other thing is it's homecoming, and that's always a special time here at Clemson. A lot of times it's the only time that a lot of our alumni or fans will get to a game. So want to obviously make it a special week in every regard from that standpoint. So again, we're just trying to have a good routine this week and do things the way we've been doing them all year. Looking at Boston College's offense, they're an 11-12 personnel type of team. Try to get you to line up wrong with a lot of shifts and motions and those type of things, but they're very capable. Montel Harris is an outstanding running back. Had 140-something yards against us last year, and he was a guy last year that we had a hard time getting on the ground. Had a lot of yards after contact. He had their one touchdown that they had off the little wheel route down the sideline there. But they want to run the football. That hasn't changed, and be a play action, control type passing game, take their shots every now and then. That's what they do. But Montel is a guy that's kind of still getting back going, and I know he'll be excited to play Clemson, and he's played very well against us. So we'll have to stop the run. That's just like last week. If we're going to win this game, you got to stop the run. You got to win first down and try to get them in 3rd and long type situations, and that would be advantage Clemson. So this would be a first down type of contest versus these guys. Their defense, strong, physical. They're young. You don't have the statistics maybe that they've had in the last couple of years. I think they led the nation in rushing defense last year. I mean, these guys are really tough every single year with their style of play, as far as how they slant and angle their D linemen and play at the line of scrimmage. They always have big, strong, physical linebackers that can run. They don't make a lot of mistakes in the secondary. Very well coached. But they only got one senior on this defense. I think they only got 2 seniors on offense. So they're a young football team that is going to get better. But the biggest thing about them when I look at their defense, they're active up front and they create some problems with, their linebacker Keekly. This guy he may be the best linebacker in the country. This guy is a heck of a football player. And I had a chance to meet him last year at the Nagurski thing with Daquan. And I mean, and my wife even said, I mean, I couldn't, he looks like a biochemist or something that, you know, I mean, it's, you'd never think this guy's ripping people's heads off on a football field. No offense to biochemists, I'm just saying he doesn't look like your typical middle linebacker. You know, he kind of looks like Clark Kent. You know, he got the glasses and really nice looking guy. And then you turn the film on and it's unbelievable. I mean, I swear to you, you can stop the film on every play, and that guy is in the picture somewhere. He's in the picture. And so, you know, if you just have a great example of how you want your guys to play, you watch that number 40. He's something special. He's leading, I think, this conference in tackles, and maybe leading the country again in tackles. And that ain't an accident. Now, I mean, he's just relentless. So we've got our hands full with him. He had 1 million tackles on us last year too. So, and then 24, I think 6th in the conference. So both those guys combined are really good football players. But again, the focus is on us. I mean, we're going to prepare as hard as we can for Boston College and what they do, and their tendencies, their techniques, you know, their schemes. But it's really just about us and trying to, you know, improve in certain areas and learn from our mistakes, and still just, you know, see if we can take another step toward our ultimate goal. And that's really all we're trying to do. So today's practice and tomorrow's practice will be very important. You know, that we go out and that we have, you know, great work. Injury-wise, you know, we're in pretty good shape at this point in the season. You know, we got a lot of guys beat up. The only one, though, that I would say is definitely out is Spencer Benton. He's going to be out for a while. Unfortunately, he fractured his shoulder, and you know, we're going to miss Spencer because he does a lot of things for us. You know, I'm hopeful that we'll get him back at some point before the season is over. But he's a guy that we're definitely going to miss, and so we're, you know, have to take today and tomorrow and try to figure out you know, what direction we want to go in as far as who's going to be our kickoff guy. And Dawson will step in and be our holder, but you know, now you got to get your backup holder and your third holder, and as we had 3 holders. Now you got to develop another guy. Spencer was also our backup punter, so you know, we really, you know, spend the week evaluating that. It looks like Catanzaro will probably be our backup punter. We actually worked him some last week when Dawson was hurt, so we got a chance to get a little sneak peek at what he can do, and he's capable. If we have to use him, and then kickoff wise, you know, Dawson and Catanzaro will be the 2 guys right now that we'll look at. So as far as, you know, who's going to start right now, I'll have an answer for you later in the week. Any questions?
What are you adding to Taj's package? Because the game's going on, like this past week, maybe he was rolling out a little bit more, maybe just giving him the leeway now as he matures.
We just, you know, just do what we do. You know, we did more nakeds last week, just because we felt like that we could it was effective versus, you know, how they play on that side of the ball, and the nakeds were effective. It weren't really sprint outs; it was more play action, you know, boots type of deal. But you know, we carry those. We just called it more versus what they were doing. Some teams, again, they don't really pursue as much from the backside, and so they're not as effective. But you know, we continue to you know, open it up and tweak each week. We really have done a lot of the same things, but different ways of doing it, and we've got a big library of calls, and some things we haven't got to just simply because of who we're playing. You know, because it's not the right call to have in this game. But you know, we're right on track, and did not play great offensively last week. Taj was a little off, but you know, tough defense, tough environment, all that kind of stuff. A little wind and wet. And, you know, we just weren't quite as crisp as we've been. Tempo wasn't as good, but we made enough plays, and that's ultimately what you're trying to do. I tell them all the time, you know, there's 5 or 6 plays, and they made the ones that we had to make to win the game.
Last year, BC was in a similar situation when they played y'all in a desperate situation, and they changed all their tendencies and everything on you guys, and it took a whole half to figure out, what they were doing different. Do you expect that same kind of sense of urgency coming from them this week, that they may throw some different things at you that you haven't seen?
They're gonna do what they do. I mean, they didn't change a whole lot last year. They just whipped us. So that's they wanted it more than we did. Not complicated. We moved the ball. We lived in the red zone. Y'all remember? We were in the red zone the whole game. We had an interception, missed some kicks, and then they had and that's what happens. And we just kind of let them hang around, and they hit the one big play on us, and they made kicks, and you end up getting beat. But they just whipped us. Simple as that. They wanted it a whole lot more than we did.
You have frequently used the term bought in, and so have Kevin and Chad. I just wondered what's different, if you could elaborate a little bit about what's different this year as regards to how the kids are buying into what you preach.
Well, I mean, I thought they bought in last year. I mean, our guys played hard. They really did, and I've said this. I mean, we weren't a bad team last year. We were a bad record, but we weren't a bad team. We had nobody was excited about playing Clemson, I promise you. Because our guys were going to play hard, they were going to compete, and the biggest thing is they stayed together. Those guys, I saw a lot of love on our football team last year. I saw a ton of it, and that's why I knew that we were on the right track in a lot of areas. Yes, we had to fix some things and get better, but from a program standpoint, I knew we had a lot of good things in place, a lot of things that were starting to take root from a program standpoint. But the biggest thing is we've got outstanding leadership and great chemistry on our staff, and those are two things that they're intangibles, but very underrated on football teams. And we've got just again excellent chemistry, and the leadership and the accountability on this team, the attention to detail is just way better than it was last year, and then we just got better players. I mean, we got more weapons. We just didn't have certain things last year, and we tried hard, but we got a whole different dimension to us this year that we didn't have last year. And when you have success, then it just kind of breeds that confidence. And so that's why it was important for us to get off to a good start this year. Because again, you've got a young team and coming off a tough year. So as these guys, they get that momentum rolling, it's a powerful thing. And it's also the other way. When it gets rolling against you, it's hard that way too. You got to handle that adversity. That's the biggest difference right there. Is just the chemistry, the leadership, and the fact that we've got a lot of really talented young players on this team that are winning games for us.
Talked about buying in from the outside of the program. You mentioned last year when you guys were struggling that maybe the vocal minority of the fans out there that were questioning you and didn't seem to be behind you. Do you feel now for the first time since you became the head coach that you really have everybody, to steal a phrase, all in?
I don't worry about that. I really don't. It's just like when, I'm getting hate mail and telling me that I need to die, and everybody with the name Swinney needs to die. And all the people are writing about how bad I am. It really is irrelevant. It really just makes zero difference to me. And even if they're saying positive things, because I just don't pay attention to it. I just really want to be, I just want to be a guy that makes a difference in the players' lives. That's really the most important thing to me. I could care less what people say about me or think about me. It's not why I do this. I really just want to make a difference in these guys' lives, and if I do that, people say whatever they want to do, whatever they want to say. That's really it.
Yeah, a minute ago on Rick's question, I'm not sure if I heard it right or if you put two different thoughts together. You said this year you've got great leadership and chemistry on our staff.
Mm-hmm.
Something that wasn't there last year on the coaching staff.
I didn't think we had